Pasha Paro, thank you for tuning. Appreciate y'all. Today, look. I know there's a lot of artists out there, whether it's music, painting, crochet, uh, shout out, making jackets, um, blinging out sneakers. You know what I mean? You're doing your thing. I see you, and the world see you too. And your neighbors and everybody else is watching. And you know, they saying a lot. They saying a lot. A lot of it is that people like me and you are crazy. They calling us crazy. But guess what? It's okay. It's okay. Because I'm gonna let you know why. I'm gonna let you know why. Today we're talking about, is it business or is it life? Right? There's 80 to $100 billion annually tied up due to mental health. All right. So we're gonna talk about that today. We're gonna talk about it. We're gonna talk about it because it's not just talk for us. It's life. This is our life, right? So I wanted this is it's such a process optimization thing that I wanted to share this with you, right? Because what we're dealing with here is the reality is that music artists, small business owners may appear crazy to average job workers because we pursue our passions, we take risk, we challenge societal norms, and our unconventional paths and dedication create or to the craft can be misunderstood by those who prioritize stability over personal fulfillment. And then many don't realize that ignoring mental health issues can only worsen the negative symptoms, making it increasingly difficult to cope with daily life. And then I gave you a slew of hashtags to make you feel connected. All right. So Pasha Pablo, we great get into some of the what I would call green belt process optimization aspects, and then it's definitely gonna be tied into like the emotional intelligence, mental health awareness, business and life coaching elements. That's what we're going to be doing today. Just showing you guys how the list of things I do. It's amazing. But here's how it works for you in various places of your life. Okay. So let's see here. Who knows who this is? Who knows who this is? Who's this? Drop it in the comments if you know who this is. Cause I'd be cool with telling people like, look, I'm call me crazy, because I'm looking at it as a good thing if you calling me crazy. Knowing who we talking to sometimes. But this is Selena Gomez, right? She had a quote back in 2016, something like that, about going back to simplicity. Now, she's a renowned singer, actress, often expressing the desire for a simpler life. You know, a lot of people reach a certain level and they start to realize, oh shit, this is a lot. I kind of want to, simpler situation, for lack of a better description. I mean, and you don't gotta be a globe-trotting singer. You see people at the office, at the plant, they get overwhelmed. It's too much for them. They leave because it was too much. They left the job because you had to do some things, right? So during this period for Selena, she made significant changes in her life, focusing on personal growth and self-discovery. Let me get this together here. Self-discovery. All right. And happiness. And you know how I feel about happiness. Happiness is always about it's joy is what we want, but people be often talking about happiness, not realizing that it involves luck because it comes from the word happen. So we really want to focus on joy, but we got the articles talking about the common use of words, which is why everything's messed up, but happiness. So it says she downsized various aspects of her life, sought treatment for mental health issues, and even reflected her journey towards simplicity in her music, such as in her song Back to You. And I like this. I chose her because this is why this is the benefit and value of that people receive when they listen to my music. Because simply put, perfection is not achieved when there's nothing left to add. Perfection is achieved when there's nothing left to take away. You see, and that's what most people overlook. They want all this boom, 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 boom. They got all these distractions, and then they're like, oh my God, that's crazy. No, you don't comprehend any of it. So you just listen to the beat and you say it's hard. Or there's 26,000 words. You hear 7 of them and say that's a hard bar. But what? You know what I'm saying? All right. So simpler life, green belt, process optimization. Let's tie it together. See, Selena recognized the complexity of her life was affecting her mental health. Now, how many people have done that? How many people have sat down and said at the end of a day at work, I don't know how much longer I can do this, or this shit getting on my fucking nerves, or whatever, right? How many people have said that to themselves? If you said it to yourself, then you got to admit that you're telling yourself something. But why? What causes us to overlook that? Why do we disregard our own notions? Well, it's because we want the new toys, right? And I've been there before. I remember being younger. I remember thinking about America and all this stuff, right? Or the United States and all this stuff at the store. They all had us being Toys R Us kids, right? Toys R Us making a comeback. Shout out to them. Okay? But you go from this, right? And you start thinking about simpler days, simpler lives, stress-free world, and you might come back out looking like this. Very simple. So when you remove the glitz and glamour, the frills and everything, what do you have at the core? Think about all the accessories of society. Think about all the accessories of society, right? What happens when you remove those? How does it affect the way you feel about yourself? And then how does the way you feel about yourself affect your productivity during the day, your engagement with the rest of the world? We're going to talk about that today, right? Because these are big problems, and Pasha Pyro got solutions. He can help you solve them. So contact me, pashapyro@gmail.com. Let's get you, let's talk about what you're going through. Let's set you up on some coaching. It's a roller coaster, and it's not to say it's going to be easy. It's not to say that you might not even like it. You might relapse back like any other addict trying to go through, trying to fight addiction, and you might relapse. So that might be you. All right. But Selena decided to simplify her life as a solution, and it made her happier. Research has shown that clutter can negatively impact the cost and quality of life. Right? It's going to mess up your well-being. You're going to have increased stress levels. Your dissatisfaction skyrockets. Negative feelings about your home, financial, come on. Right? So get with me. I'm a green belt. We're going to identify inefficiencies and waste in your processes. We're going to make them more cost efficient and more effective, right? We're going to reduce the waste, improve efficiency, problem solver. You know what I mean? Like, you guys had the opportunity of watching me go through things. So, I'm speaking from experience. I'm making the same decisions. So, is your home, right? Look at your home. Where do you stay right now? Do you got a home? Do you got an apartment? What is the real value of having that expense? Do you really need a home? Do you really need the apartment? And they're gonna say, somebody out there right now, of course I need it. Why? Because you got stuff that you don't need. You have goals. Let me put it to you like this. You have goals. Does the stuff that you have in the apartment or the home, all of it now, or what percentage of it is helping you achieve your goals? If you had to put it as a percentage, what percentage of things in your home is helping you achieve your goals? Let's look at it. You got rooms in your home. Is your living room filled with a big screen TV and a couch? How does that add value to you accomplishing your goal? Does it add value? Oh yeah, it helps me when I have a long day at work and I can come home and relax. Well, why you gotta relax? Why you feel like you gotta relax so much all the time, so often? Because that's a pretty good investment. If your home has 5 rooms in it, then 20% of your investment is geared towards relaxation. 1/5. What are you doing that you gotta relax so much from? What happens if you tune what you're doing so that you don't create the symptoms that you're trying to solve through relaxation? That would give you 20% back of your time in life to put back into accomplishing your goals, correct? Would that be the case? Am I looking at that right? So now how much faster would you actually achieve it? So here's that full little clip from the article. Excuse me. She said, I think everything in my life is being majorly downsized in a very good way. She told Ellie, whoever that is, toward the end of the summer, there you go, in 2018. Going back to simplicity. It's always who I've been. It's not me saying, I feel the best I've ever felt. It's me saying, I'm exactly where I am and I'm happy. I'm so happy I'm in this place. It's a lot of self-discovery, right? From 20 to 26, I feel like a totally different person. So how much of the stuff that you have, because that's what people really have a home for. That's what people really have an apartment. You got stuff. And what was a joke? I think George Carlin said, he said, you got stuff. You want to go and get more stuff and you want to have a place to put the stuff you got with the stuff but how much of your stuff is actually helping you accomplish your goals and your dreams? So now, if you were to get rid of all of the stuff that had nothing to do with you accomplishing your goals or dreams, what would you be left with? So like when you look at that apartment or you look at that home, that mortgage, you're paying $2,500 to $3,000 a month to have a place to put stuff, right? So that you can bring someone over and show them the stuff that you got. who's going to have psychological issues from trying to maintain the stuff they got, y'all not even going to work out more than 6 months to a year. But all this investment is in the perception of what to do with your stuff. So maybe if you got rid of the home, you can have more control over the banking system as a community. But maybe if you got rid of the home, downsize, maybe you become a roommate and you get an office. Because that's really all you, especially if you got a home business, you really are working out the home. So you got all of this space to do something that you actually do on a 5-foot desk. You spending $3,000 a month to maintain the ability to operate on a 5-foot desk. Now, I'm not saying it don't make you feel good to look out and see the view, or when you look at a lot of these homes, you're looking down, you're looking right in your neighbor's window, like, because they stacked on top of each other. I don't like that. I mean, I don't know. You know what I mean? I'd rather have an apartment. But the point of the matter is, do a self-assessment. Do a self-assessment. All right? Now let's get into some of this stuff here. Because the impact of ignoring mental health on the average American. Many average Americans fail to see how their own complex lives impact their mental health. And guess what? We're going to tie this into the problems y'all having with dating people. Oh yeah, I told you this is life coaching and business coaching. See, but the problem is you got business coaches, you got life coaches, and they don't know. Sometimes they just telling you things that sound good. And that's why when you talk to me, you're like, it didn't dawn on me that I should offer that. Because I just normally talk to help people, right? I'm always helping people. But I had someone I was talking to one day about something they were going through, and I was like, blah, 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 blah. It was like they said this, and I immediately was like, blah, 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 blah. And they were like, blah, 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 blah. I was like, yeah, blah, 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 blah. And they're like, oh my God. And like, I said, are you a business coach? And I was like, nah. I mean, but technically I'm a critical solutions expert. So by default, some of what I do is coaching. Right? Because I got to coach you through to the solution. And they're like, yeah, because I've dealt with a business coach for about 2 months now, and you've just provided more value in 4 minutes than they've given me on the same issue in 2 months, and I'm paying them $3,000 a month. And it's really not because anything else, and they just don't know that they don't know. They're telling you things that sound good. And because you don't know any better, you feel like you're getting value, which maybe you are, but it's not the solution, right? You can solve a problem, but it still not be the solution. It's not the end all to be all, right? So I'm trained to solve problems. That's what I've been doing my whole life. It's fascinating to me. It's like a puzzle. Like some people get on the table, they put all the little pieces out, and they put the picture together, and it's like, puzzle, satisfying. That's me with your life or your business or your whatever your goals and challenges are. And to be fair, things are a lot easier when you have the budgets for them, right? We got the budget, we can make things happen. So when you go into corporate America, the right companies have, as long as you can prove it, they'll give you a blank check. So you can go through and make it make sense, justify the ROI. You can just click the order button, right? So it's a little different in our personal lives. When we got $1 billion goals and dreams, see, like small-minded people, their goal is just to, their overall goal. I'm not saying people don't get cars or people don't get houses, whatever the case may be. But if your whole goal right now is just to get a car, right, or to get a whatever, the next new toy, congratulations for you, because your life is really simple, right? Now, if your goal is to make an impact in the world, to build some world change, your nation building with me and other people like me, the shit we trying to do costs billions. It costs billions. And I'm at the point in my life where I was like, we've been spending a little bit here, spending a little bit there. Even though we frugal, we've been, people like you and me been frugal our whole life. We still wake up one day and we're like, you know what? I done had some good times. I done everything I wanted to do in life. When I want to do it, I work for it, I get it, and then once you get it, it's like, Now some people they stall out. They're like, ooh, I hear I made it this plateau. Let me maintain. Ooh, let me do the lateral. And they shift over here and they doing this and they doing all this motion, but it's really just side to side. It's really just side. When you look at it, it's really just side to side. They doing a lot of motion, a lot of talking, but they not going. They not really dropping enough. How you give them that? Oh yeah, I ain't had no problems in my life in the last 20 years. Yeah, because all you doing is this. You just two stepping. Same old two step. Right? You done made it to a little plateau, and now you just doing a two step. Right? And you feel like you're doing something because you're here and then you're here and you're here and you're here, but you're on the same level. You ain't going nowhere. Now, people like me and you, to a lot of people, it appears that we're in the same level. Some people looking at us like, oh, you've been in the same spot 10 years. But in reality, you coming up, right? You coming up, especially if they above you or think they above you or whatever, you moving up. It's like the thing about the punch, right? When you move side to side, who was the actor that was telling everybody this? Kumo Slice or whatever, right? He said when you move the punch any other way, they can see it, so you can react to it. But when you come straight forward, let me go to the camera. He said, but when you come straight at it, it's like you don't really notice that it's moving until it's right. That's why they think we're in the same spot, because we're going vertical. They used to lateral movement, 2 steps. Okay. All right. So many people don't realize that ignoring mental health issues can worsen it. So mental health issues can significantly impair relationships, both personal and professional. All right. But people don't notice the gradual decline in the quality of the interactions and connections with others. Now think about your relationships at work. Think about the relationships with chick, or if you're a woman, then dude, or whatever your status is. Just think about who you be with, right? Who you be with. So reduce work performance. Now it starts to get into play. Mental health problems often lead to reduced concentration, focus, and overall work. Now, think about some of the conversations you've had in the office with your job, in the bedroom with your significant other. She tired, she don't feel like it, whatever. She complaining about you, the job saying you're not working like you used to, whatever. Well, mental health problems often lead to reduced concentration, focus, and overall work performance. You know what I mean? Like, how many of y'all done heard the dudes at work talking about they got the blue pills? And you laughing because you go, we 4 hours natural. Anyway, you know what it is. Like, sometimes I like to give them breaks, and I just let them, go do your thing. You had enough. Go relax. It's okay. I'm gonna go do some work. We try again later tomorrow. No, don't worry about. I don't need to all the time. That's a waste of energy. You know what I'm saying? But they used to dealing with these other people, so they don't know any better. They don't know sex magic, right? They don't know about sex magic, right? So you gotta teach them. You gotta bring them up to speed, and then they go through depression because they feel like you didn't do what everybody else. Well, whatever. Anyway, so look, think about the mental health issues, right? Because they attribute their struggles then to what happens is, because you're not considering that it's a mental health issue. Because hey, who wants to admit they have mental health issues, right? They go and attribute it their struggles to external factors. And I'm really proud of what we're working on right now. And I'm really excited to when we get to the point where I can show you. It's gonna help in the mental health arena, I think, on a global stage, and you're gonna be able to have fun doing it, and it's gonna be amazing. It's gonna be amazing. So stay tuned for that. So, but what happens is individuals will think about it being external factors rather than internal mental health issues. This is when they go on blaming everything around them except for themselves. And see, that's what I'm saying. Like, if people to untrained eye may not notice, this is why they call artists, this is why you're entrepreneurs, this is why all of us, we appear crazy to them. You see, like, look at me. That statement right there, I can admit to you. Y'all can be like, oh, that's Pasha, you might be talking about yourself. The only difference is Pasha makes comments about the observation about external stuff, but then he takes ownership for being the source of the opportunity that caused the external shit. See what I'm saying? Like, I'm the one that's saying, yeah, but I do this, and I know people that don't know any better, they right? Or because they don't know this or that, they act like this. So yeah, I'm talking about external stuff, but at the end of the day, I'm ultimately responsible for it. So what you'll hear me doing is saying, well, this is why I got to get rid of this person, or I'm looking for these type of people in society, right? Because I realized that these people over here, this mentality, all I want to do is create mental health issues for them. You see, that's the difference. Like, I'm to the point of knowing myself, where I know myself to the point where I know if you're a certain type of person mentally, you're not going to enjoy yourself around me, because it's going to cause you mental health issues. It's going to cause you emotional damage. It's going to cause you, because you're not emotionally aware enough. So that doesn't mean that you're a bad person. It just means that I care enough about you to keep you the fuck away from me for your own benefit. Because then you don't have any reason to go around and talk shit about how you feel, how Pasha made you feel, because you weren't prepared for this level yet that Pasha's on. All right. So let's see here. And what I'm doing is I'm saying this to you, but I want you to consider how this is all parallel to your own life and your own experience. And maybe you just never thought about this before, or maybe you're dealing with the chick that you call your wife or your spouse or whatever, or maybe you're dealing with the supervisor or the coworker, and now things start to make sense that you didn't realize before. Like, when you're watching these YNet 7 videos, this is not Pasha bragging. This is Pasha talking about real life experiences from Pasha's point of view, so that you can see how it relates to your life and your world. And then here's a solution for them. Because what happens is you might sit up there and say, oh, Pasha be talking shit. He'd be up here talking about how he get rid of people and this, that, and the other. And hey, that motherfucker crazy. And who needs that type of person around him? And then you going through shit for 10 years, and then you realize, I need to get rid of this person. Then it flashes back on you about what you said about Pasha. Like, oh shit, Pasha didn't take 10 years. He took 6 weeks. Oh, I see what he meant now. So he saved himself 10 years of chemical poisoning of his own body just from being in that toxic relationship or environment or situation that you were trying to hang on to for whatever reason, right? But you were too busy judging me, maybe, or the people like me that bring you the message for the Most High in advance, that you missed the opportunity for 10 years. Same thing happens in the community. See, that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to build a sustainable community. So I got to break it all the way down to the little small things, the little trivial things that people relate to the most, like who their girlfriend or boyfriend is that they really can't stand, but they only with because they couldn't buy the new car or the new toy if they didn't have this person living with them that they only really have a good day with 4 days out the month. but this is their sacrifice. And then the only reason they want the new toys and stuff is because they're trying to detox from all the toxicity in their life, like going to work they don't want to work at, having this relationship they don't want to have. So they're just surrounded by poison, and the last thing they can do is get on the highway and go, right? Because they really don't know what the problem is. And then if they did know the problem and they actually solved it and got to doing something they wanted to do, they would be called crazy like us, like the artists and the rest of us, like the small business owners. And then what happens is the community has more things that it need in the community, because now that's one more person that decided, I'm not building this no more. I'm going to build myself up in this arena. And now you become true value for the community. Now the community becomes sustainable around you. You become a pillar of whatever you decide to go into and enjoy. But we got to break you from the habit of the addiction that you're having first. We got to have, what is it called? An intervention, right? So physical health issues, ignoring mental health can lead to physical health issues such as headaches, digestive issues, changes in appetite, sleep patterns, right? We were just talking about on the last video or two how artists, small business owners, entrepreneurs, we might work 24/7. We might work for 4 days straight. We might not eat. Sometimes by choice, sometimes by budget, right? We building stuff in the beginning. But, you know, that's why it's so easy for someone looking at it from the outside to think you have mental health issues, when in reality, you're just really focused on a level that they can't comprehend, right? And then this is where you get to where you hear me say, like when we were talking about the DISC assessment the other day, I withdraw from this society, right? Because people experiencing, they said they got on here social withdrawal, right? So people experiencing mental health problems might instinctively withdraw from social interactions. And then they say, which can go unnoticed by themselves and others, the withdrawal can further exacerbate feelings of isolation and depression. But see, for me, I'm really not withdrawing because I'm depressed. I'm really not withdrawing because, well, I'm a Virgo. We kind of like hermit mode. We do like to be by ourselves, you know what I mean, and just give us our little whatever space and let us do what we want to do. I'm a hermit mode. We do go in a hermit mode. So we like isolation. Introvert, whatever you want to call it, we all that. You know what I'm saying? I come out every now and then for the money, for the currency. Right? I come out every now and then to invest in society, because you talk to people, you meet the people, and you get to help someone every day that you go outside. But if I'm busy working on a project, I'm in here, I'm happy, or I'm at wherever my space is, I'm always there. Like some of my neighbors used to say, I didn't even know anybody lived there, because I don't know how that's. I make music, I be loud too, like other people, but whatever, I get it. You really don't see me come and go too much. Even when I do move, I kind of like to move a certain way, so you don't, it is what it is, right? So we're not withdrawing from society because we're crazy. We're withdrawing from society because our presence in society make y'all crazy. Y'all the ones pulling y'all hair out. Oh my God, you should be like this and you should do that. Why you gotta and oh, you're making me feel this way. Well, you know what? If that's what it is, then fuck it. I don't want to keep hurting you. So the reasons for that people avoid to acknowledge this situation in their own lives is plentiful, right? Because you're dealing with shame, stigma, embarrassment, all things people don't want to have labels to if they're not mentally strong enough to stand on their own shit, right? Steve Jobs would have never been able to build Apple if he was worried about embarrassment, shame, and stigma, and if he was really concerned with someone saying you should be in your children's life more, and you know what I mean, all this stuff that society try to hit you with to make you something that you ain't, so they can feel better about you until they find the next shit to talk shit about you, to tell you they ain't gonna fuck with you no more, all that shit. So lack of awareness and understanding about mental health problems is at the core. This is why it's very important to understand and share and build in this arena. So contact me. Let's go over whatever you're going through. Let's go through some coaching. Let's get you, whether it's life or business. I got you, right? We're gonna help you out, because there's cultural and society norms. In some communities, you asking for help, which we talked about a few videos ago, is looked down upon or seen as a sign of weakness. But the key is admitting to having mental health issues, and then that creates that whole vulnerability statement that people, again, fear, look frown upon everything. Nobody wants to appear to be vulnerable, right? Now, untreated mental health issues can lead to suicidal thoughts and behaviors, they say. More than 90% of suicides are directly attributable to untreated mental health issues, mental health illnesses. And here's where I go again, and I'm looking at it like, when y'all see these shootings and stuff, these bombings and stuff, right? I mean, you got to understand that some of them is like what I'm saying. Like, we're not leaving, and I'm not saying we, like, I want to become, I'm not saying we, like, I would be out there, mass bombing society or anything. I mean, I drop music. That's my mass bombs, right? It blows up. We drop bombs like Hiroshima. You know what I'm saying? Flames. So, but when you look at the attacks on society, I want you to start realizing what you got to start thinking, that there's some percentage of them where no, it's not that they were mentally unstable. It's that those people out there were so mentally unstable every time they came around that they just got so frustrated of feeling like all these fingers always pointing at them about something that is not even true, that it appears they went crazy, and it appears they went and bombed, a whole building, or blew up a community, whatever, right? Shot up this place, did whatever. But y'all never stopped to think about what was being done to them to push them to that point. Like I said, man, Osama bin Laden and the guy that shot up, or whatever, news clipping you want to point to next week, the only difference between those two people is budget. The guy that did the little random shooting, killed 12 people and hurt 4 more, and then was taken out by the police or took himself out, he had a $1,000 budget. Osama bin Laden had $2 billion. Right? So you gotta really start to take ownership for your side of it as a community, as society. And the reason I can say that with 100% confidence is because I had two separate trips to the mental health observation in life. Only for them to tell me what I already knew. Nothing's wrong with you. You just know stuff that the average people don't know. But the problem was, I got sent there because my family didn't know, or because the people around me didn't know. So basically, I got sent to mental health. And this is what happens. If you look at any great mind, I ain't gonna say any great mind, but if you look at many of the great minds, they were always had a period where they were called crazy on a high level, put into the insane asylum, threatened to go into the insane asylum if they didn't keep quiet, whatever, right? This is nothing new to people who live the life that I live, and the people that really appreciate why that 7 lived, right? But when you look at the simplicity of it, remember, go back to simple. We were put in those positions because of what you don't know, or because of what they don't know. Because of what they don't know. So then it starts to, when you keep hearing it, when you imagine it sitting in the corner. Imagine, let me get this big on the screen for you. Imagine sitting in the corner rocking, saying, I'm only here because of what they didn't know. I'm only going through this because of what they don't know. And they don't know what they don't know. I'm here because of what they don't know. Like, because they pointed the finger and said something was wrong with me. They pointed the finger and said something was wrong with you because of what they don't know. And then instead of having the decency or the honor to let you go and continue to live your life in the fashion, and them just saying, hey, I don't know what I don't know. No. They wanted you to be converted. They wanted you to be converted. Imagine a time period back in the day where they used to hook people up to electrical shit and be like, something's wrong with his mind. We're going to electrocute him into becoming normal. Now you're in there getting electrocuted because you just know shit that people don't know. And they were too dumb to realize that they didn't know shit. And there was more shit to know in the world than what they knew. Like, this is really the problem. So then what happens is now you get $2 billion like Osama bin Laden, right? So you got to see, from those other countries, those other nations, the perspective is that you got someone with their foot on your throat for reasons that they don't even know. What happens? So this is why we as a society must take responsibility for our actions too. Okay? You got to take responsibility for your actions too. Because what happens is some of those people aren't thinking about suicide. They're thinking about your suicide, because what they're thinking in their mind is, I'm stuck in this position. We stuck in this position because of you. How do we get rid of the problem that we're going through when it's you? But we never judged you. We tried to empower you. We only tried to help you heal because we realized you're the ones with the mental health issues. But because there was more of you number-wise, you were more numerous, it's easy for you to perceive that you're what they call normal and there's something wrong with us. That's why I wrote the song Gaslighting. I wrote the song called Yo, it'd be so funny when people be online, like Facebook and stuff, and they be trying to throw gaslighting shots at you, and I just be like, yeah, here's the link to my song. I wrote the song Gaslighting. You can save some time and just listen to the song. There's no need to try to gaslight me, blah, blah. Because I'm trying to help society realize you're not skilled like that's so Fisher Price. But you're used to feeling so accomplished elsewhere because so many people don't know nothing about it. And if they do, they haven't expanded on it. So here you go again, the same problem. I'm in this position because of what you don't know. When you try to come throw shots at me and want to do what worked for the other people, it doesn't work here. It just shows me how childish you are, because we could took that energy and we could have built something together. So mental health issues can have significant economic impact, including lost productivity and increased healthcare costs, right? So businesses in the US lose more than an estimated $80 to $100 billion annually due to mental health related productivity. Now, why did I bring that up as a title? Because if we're trying to navigate to sustainable communities so that we can reduce the codependency on big government and large corporations, to empower we the people to create sustainable communities. We can't afford to be losing $80 billion worth of productivity because we haven't got our mind right. And then the problem is it's a cancer, because if one person's mind isn't right, but you're trying to make sure you make them feel, they're got a feeling problem again. You're trying to make sure you make them feel good. Now your mind ain't right. That's the codependency factor. Now you're doing things to fit in, right? Be authentic. Don't got the shirt on today, but this is why I like that shirt, because it reminds me every day to not be authentic, to be genuine. Because now look at this situation, and I'm not, substitute your own variable there. I'm talking about the mind scattering thing. Now you're trying to hang on to this relationship of chaos, which is going to distract you in some way, shape, or form, even if it's only 10%, from doing what you're supposed to be doing, or maybe what you could be doing, so that our community could be growing, and then we wouldn't have reports on YNET 7 like the personal freedom rankings for the entire state fell from 13th to 33rd because we were too busy trying to maintain a relationship with Scatterbrain, that we weren't out in the streets and talking to the community, whether it's on like podcasts like this, if you want to call it a podcast, or talking to our neighbors, or meeting people at the wherever you're at, the grocery store, and ask them how they're feeling today, and then telling them a solution for how they can improve that, whatever. All because you didn't realize your addiction to mental illness. Pasha, why you don't talk to my family? Because my family try to kill me. They crazy. They try to put me away. Because they dumb. And they don't know they dumb. I mean, I normally don't call people dumb, but I mean, that was dumb. I pulled the paper. Let me get the paperwork while we're in here talking about this. Let me see the paperwork since you're talking about what they wrote on it. Paperwork says there's 4 reasons they put you in here for mental health observation. They said you have a big gun. You take big guns with you everywhere you go. They literally, there's no lies what it said. It said walks around the house with guns and claims he's a part of the Moorish nation. North Carolina, open carry state. Delaware, where I'm from, open carry state. Now I haven't claimed Moorish nation in a long time. I'd say I'm American, but the thing is the same. Like I never really I haven't been talking about Moorish since like 2015. Actually, maybe before that, like 2013 or so. Because the ish part means that it's like, but it's not the real thing. So right there, you got authentic, not genuine. That's a conflict of interest for me. So I moved away from that a long time. But to be honest, a lot of what I know today started with Tariq Bey being on YouTube with his videos and stuff. Almost 15 years ago, 20 years ago, whatever it was. So I give credit that. But anyway, yeah. So they putting you in the mental hospital because of what they don't know. Yeah, because you're supposed to be knowledgeable, right? So they were so worried about me being American, is what I call it, that I wasn't a U.S. citizen. They wanted to convert me. They wanted me to get the electroshock therapy. You are a U.S. citizen. Say it with me now. No, never. I'll never. Right? That's what they wanted to see. So what if I go up in there and here, Pasha, why are you so upset about it? I'm upset about it because if you've never been, because they're assuming something's wrong with you, they go all the way to the point of forcing you to take medication. I tried to escape the first time because I don't really do captivity very well. You know what I mean? Like I had a period of time in my early years where I was, like most young men, we were doing things that whatever, right? You could say maybe you could say we weren't supposed to, but I'm not saying I was doing nothing super crazy, but so I had periods of time in life like that. I've been in, Grandma had us watching Dukes of Hazzard. I'm not a felon right now because I've been in 4 police chases and I got away. It's public knowledge, right? But then you grow up and you mature. You get out of that life. You get into a different life, and you excel. Some of the things that you learn in that life is what makes you so great in this where you went to. So a lot of people are like that. Like a lot of the politicians and presidents and stuff, they all have backgrounds that you just didn't check and know until like Hunter Biden shows up with charges, you know what I mean? So whatever the case might be, right? I'm from Wilmington, Delaware. You know what I mean? So the point of the matter is, the mental health issues cost an estimated $80 to $100 billion annually because we too busy trying to hang on to problems that we don't know are problems. And then they got this section called strained relationships. So mental health problems can strain relationships, family, friends, colleagues, leading to social isolation and further mental health decline. So that's the thing. They threaten you with it's social isolation, like you're not fitting in with society. No, your motherfuckers is crazy. Let's go out here and build this brand, this business that's going to help save millions of people with their time instead of trying to make it make sense to scatterbrain. You see what I'm saying? And like I said, don't take it. This is just an example. Now, let's get into some good stuff. Because a lot of y'all trying to date, which is just very funny too. So, as y'all call it, dating and stuff, and it's like, what is that? I don't even know anymore. Like back in the day, people used to date because it was like you were courting to become unionized, like local Section 5. Electrical union, right? Nowadays, it's just a thing. It's really just a form of prostitution. So, but when you get into the different phases, I mean, think about adding the job, the workplace, you're dating, you go on your interview. How did your date go? I mean, how did your interview go? Well, we don't know. We're going to find out, just like y'all come back home and talk about how the date went. Oh, how did the date go? Well, I think we had a good time and we talked a lot and she seemed to be receptive right? See the parallel? Okay. Now that we got that out the way. Depression refers to the mood or disorder characterized by the persistent feeling of sadness. All right. Depression refers to the mood or disorder characterized by a persistent feeling of sadness, loss of interest. Now, keep in mind that sadness actually means satisfied. And I read this statement, I'm really processing that in this statement. So depression refers to a mood disorder characterized by a persistent feeling of sadness, loss of interest, and a range of other symptoms that significantly impact a person's daily life. Now, think about it. Once you become satisfied with something, how do you feel about it? Do you want any more? Your favorite meal, lasagna or whatever, steak or salad, whatever your favorite thing is, pineapples. You sit down with a big ass plate of it or bowl of it, and you go ham. And then your body does something funny in the way through it, right? Like sometimes you got to eat the whole plate, and you like, man, I need some more too on top of that. Maybe you ain't ate. Maybe your body's craving certain things to replenish or repair certain parts of itself, whatever the case may be. But sometimes you eat and it's like, oh, this is so good, and then all of a sudden it just the taste changes, and you don't have that no more, right? And that's like, I found for me, that's my body signal saying, okay, we're satisfied now. Yeah, you still got more on your plate, but we satisfied right now. Now look at that comparison in real life. Like, you're an artist working on a project. You're an engineer or architect working on a project, and you're putting in those long hours that make people feel like you got sleep disorder. You missed your last 2 meals, so you're not eating because you just wanted to get done this maybe not even the last part, but this one part, so that you felt like once you get done this, you'd be at a good point to stop and take a break. But you wanted to finish this, so you're going in, right? Albert Einstein, Tesla, you're going in, Edison style, you're going in, right? Perry Mason. And you're like, once I get to here, I can just take a break, or it'll be finished, it'll be complete. If I could just get to this, and you're just working relentlessly. And then once you get there, you become satisfied. And you're like, okay. So you become saddened, in other words. Now think about it in the rest of the sentence. So you got a loss of interest, right? You didn't want the sandwich they brought you. You didn't want the booty they offered you. You didn't try to go out to the club with them. You didn't want to play the video game. Oh, he done lost interest in everything. He's going through depression. So, we need to do something for him. Now they trying harder to get you to come out and from what they think is a depression, but realize they don't understand you're chasing your satisfaction, your joy. They see it as crazy, deranged. See, so here they go. The symptoms must be present for at least 2 weeks and interfere with activities such as sleeping, eating, or working. And see, they're looking at what they call work. We didn't see you at the job today, Smith. What's going on with you? You called out yesterday. Now you got a lot. Now you at work lying about what you did yesterday, because in reality you were up doing what you wanted to do, whether that was productive for you in life or not. And you wanted to do that so much bad that you really didn't care that you were going to miss a day of work about it. And or we've all had the point where we called out of work at some point in our life, whether it was 18, 19, 20 years old, whatever. You called out of work because you just wanted to go do something else that day. Now, what happens when that is really a artistic, entrepreneurial, small business linked stuff like that? You see what I'm saying? So now they calling you crazy because they done watched you for the last 2 weeks have things that, as far as they're concerned, interfered with your daily activities such as sleeping, eating, or what they expect you to be doing as working. So depression is one of the most common mental disorders, they say, and it affects how a person feels, thinks, and handles these daily activities. So depression can vary, but often include a depressed mood, a loss of interest or pleasure, changes in appetite or weight, sleep disturbances, fatigue, feelings of worthiness or guilt, difficulty concentrating, and thoughts of death or suicide. Now, the thing is, though, go back to what I was building up the pretense earlier, and I reposed that the sleep disturbances may not really be disturbances. They may have been choices. Like maybe you're like, I'm going to work all through the night. I'm going to sleep tomorrow. But to them, they were like, oh my God, you didn't get no sleep last night, or you didn't come to bed last night, honey. What's wrong with you? Right? And then you got to deal with this stuff because they didn't sign up to help you. They didn't think to come out and say, hey, baby, what you working on? Can I help? Nope. Right? So you out there knocking out by yourself. Right? Now you're fatigued at work. Let's say you get up, let's say you sat up all night. I done been there before. You done been there before. You sat up all night working on a project, writing a song, whatever it was for you. Now you get up. You didn't go to sleep. You get your shower, you get your clothes on, you go to work, and you're at work dragging ass. Right? Or you're working on a project, you didn't finish it when you wanted to. You're writing a book, you're an author. You thought it was going to take you 6 months. You're on month number 8.5, and now you're feeling worthlessness. You're feeling like maybe this isn't what you're supposed to be doing. All these negative self-thoughts or guilt simply because you missed a deadline. Because they don't understand the pressure that you put on yourself, being the artistic person that you are in your craft that you wanted to adhere to. So now they talking about you because you're talking down about yourself because they don't understand the life. They never had the commitment or goal like you and the dedication to achieve against all odds. They're thinking that you're not paying attention because they don't realize what you are paying attention to. So they think you're having difficulty concentrating. So they calling our kids, our sons and daughters, telling you that they got ADHD because they're not focusing on this bullshit up on the screen or on the chalkboard because they worried about can they walk home this way or that way without getting shot in their neighborhood. But we ain't trying to do nothing to make it so that everybody have what they want and don't need to shoot anybody. No, we just trying to put them in ADHD so this one group over here can get a little bit more bonus in their paycheck and some investment money. That's the easiest thing to do, right? But there's treatment options, including therapy and medication. So now Big Pharma gets some, everybody want to get some. So what happens is there's got to be ways to significantly improve our society without the medication. And I think that's going to live in the way that we self-therapy each other. But it starts with being honest about what the real situation is. All right? So we talked about the withdrawal from social interactions. We talked about the lack of enthusiasm. Now put that towards dating. Okay? Because all of this stuff we just talked about is the same thing you're going to experience in dating. So if you're throwing the dice every time you go do that, like I said, when do we say, hey, let's build something instead of taking gambles on nothing, right? Because you get impulsive disorders, right? Hold on, let me see here. I had some details for you where it was talking about spending. Yeah, here it goes. So under the bipolar disorder, right? Because there's negative self-talk, there's withdrawals and isolation, there's limited emotional availability, right? It said leading to feelings of disappointment and rejection in the relationship. So again, look at me, for example. You could easily look at me and say, oh, Pasha has limited emotional availability, which I tell you, I do. I don't have emotional attachments, but it's not for those reasons. The reasons that they would say, oh, it's leading to feelings of disappointment and rejection in the relationship. No, I'm actually preventing the feelings of disappointment and rejection in the relationship because you only have to provide a rejection because the solution causes you pain. The solution that it offers causes you pain. And if you're not ready and willing, then you're going to succumb to the pain. And then that makes me your enemy. So you see me withdraw, the wrong person is going to say, oh, Pasha weak. Look, he leaving. No, Pasha weak because Pasha not weak. Pasha is actually leaving because he either gonna make you suicidal, or he gonna you make me want to see you suicidal, because you're not ready for me. You ready for whatever part of the world you ready for. You there, you there, you living your best life with them. But then I come and it fucks your whole life up. So you know what? It's cool. Like the song said, go ahead with that fake shit. Right? So I provide the solutions. And if I give you the solution and it hurts your feelings and it makes you want to not be around me, then you shouldn't come around me. So that's leading to feelings of disappointment and rejection in a relationship. That's your limited emotional availability. Depression can cause individuals to struggle with the following through on task and being emotionally available. So if I give you an assignment and you can't complete the assignment, that's a problem. I'm Pasha. I'm General. If I give you an order and you don't carry out the order, you put the whole team at risk because of your limited emotional availability. So that means for the safety of the world, I can't have you around me. Then you got bipolar disorder. See, the small-minded people think it's about them. No, it's about the national security. Remember, a lot of people are playing King of the Sandbox. That's all they know is a little sandbox. I'm not that dude. I'm not living that life. I left that life behind, King of the Sandbox, 40 years ago. But I don't try to convert people into things that they're not. So when you get to manic episodes, during manic episodes, individuals with what they call bipolar disorder may exhibit irritability and engage in what they call harmful behaviors such as spending sprees, binge drinking, and have unusual amounts of energy. Now, I like to have my energy, right? I normally have a lot of energy full time until you crash because you start up 3 days in a row and you got to go, your body just makes you sleep, right? Binge drinking. There's times where if you don't drink at all regularly, normally, and then you celebrate something, you know, you can have some 2-3 glasses of whatever. Is that binge drinking? Or is binge drinking when you go in and drink for 5 days straight? You know, what is it for you? Who knows? What is the real measure? I don't know. Right? Spending sprees, they're calling harmful behavior. Now think about this dating world. So your life is so fucked up, right? You haven't admit that it's fucked up. And what you think is that you need to do to make it better is to go date, because that's the manic, that's the bipolar, that's the manic episode hitting, where you're going to be irritable because you haven't had something in a while. And then you're going to engage to get it in harmful behaviors potentially, such as spending sprees. Like you hear the person, you know, I used to do live photography, and you hear the person at the end of the night saying, "Oh shit, I just spent $400 on drinks tonight." And you know, $400 may or may not be a lot of money to you, or maybe it is, or maybe it only is when you're realizing you just spent it on drinks at a 4-hour party, but you don't have $1,800 or $2,500 to get your logo done for your business, to get you out of the work, out of the job that you hate going to, that made you have to go to the club in an outfit that costs you $400, so that you can spend $400 on drinks in front of 400 chicks that ain't even gonna remember you next week. Like, yeah, I mean that's really what it was. Like I spent some time. Y'all know I spent like 13 years in the club, 3 to 5 nights a week. It's actually why I didn't go to the club. When chicks used to be like, "Hey, Pasha, you want to go do something this weekend? You want to go to the club, hang out?" I'd be like, you know what? Nah. If I had a weekend off one, I'd be like, well, look, this is what we're gonna do. Like, this is how you need to tell them, man. Like I said, a lot of people are behind, but I'll share this with you. You know, when you get the songs called room service, and people don't understand where that's coming from. Like, they don't understand that I live multiple lives, and the only difference is, like I said, is budget. When you got your budget in your life, and that's what you budgeted for, then this is what the things you can do. When you get bored with that part of life, and then you take your budget and you shift it over here to business applications or something, then you really get excited about spending money on business stuff. When you become a billionaire and you can put $1 million into all of the budget pots, then you just start doing wild and crazy shit all over the place and all the different stuff, right? But when I was really focused on it, like, I would do things because I'm bored. Like, I done done everything I wanted to do right now. I don't want to go international nowhere. I don't really want to, I don't have that desire to go see what y'all call the world. I'm trying to fix home first, which is America. You know what I'm saying? But to get back to what I was saying, it'd be like this. Like, all right, I talk to chick. I'd be like, look, so if you got club ready, if you got outing ready, you gonna go get your hair done. You gonna spend $400-$600 on that, maybe, right? You gonna go get an outfit, or maybe you got one that you're gonna pull out of the closet that you spent $200-$300 on total, right? You already up to $700-$800. If I go get something new to wear, I might spend $200-$300, depending on how I feel. Maybe $100 if it's just something hole in the wall place. So you're gonna spend $100-$400. You're gonna gas up the cars, or the one car. That's gonna be $20-$40. You're gonna sound like old boy at the club talking about you spent $100-$200-$300 on drinks, depending on what y'all drinking. Maybe $50. What you gonna get a room afterwards? That's $140-$200. You're gonna get something to eat. You'll have spent $1,500 easy combined on 4 hours. So I'd be like, shorty, just give me $400. I'm gonna put $400 to it, and then I wind up doing shit like had a limo come pick us up in Delaware, take us across the bridge, the Delaware Memorial Bridge. Actually, stop at where we get the food there that day. I forget, but stop at the restaurant, order the food already, pick up the food, had the food in the limo, take it to the Inn of the Dove. If you don't know what the Inn of the Dove was, it was a hotel with theme. So you can get like an ice cave, you can get like a treehouse suite with the jacuzzis, whatever your particular fantasy was. They had custom suites, the real jacuzzi tubs, mirrors on the wall and ceiling. Had a limo come back, get us the next AM, pick us up from in Jersey, take us to Philly. Rittenhouse Square, I don't know if it's still there. Second floor was a restaurant. Have them have flowers on the table and strawberries, overlooking the park. Eat lunch while the limo wait outside. Then we ride back home in a limo, sleep it all off, recover, go back days of our lives as the world turns on them, right? You do that for $800 back in the day. You split that $400 a piece. Now we have memories. We had an experience. I work in the club. Like, don't ask me to go back to work. You see what I'm saying? Like, I live lives that people, I already been there, done that. Like, I'm trying to do the next thing. I'm trying to get to this billionaire status because I need that budget so I can put these things in place in the world for us for the future. Because ain't nobody else trying to help me do it. So help us do it. The ones that's with me behind the scenes. So when I write songs and shit, and when I be doing my thing, I be talking from experience. I don't know about the rest of them. So now, shopping sprees. See, it's talking about impulsive shopping sprees where you're buying items. So for me, that wasn't impulsive. Somebody else is like, oh, they could label it as such. But that was strategic for me because most people, they taught to go to the club on the weekend. And like I said, depending on how you do it, you're going to spend together, whether you spent it already, if you already got the stuff in your closet, or you're buying it at the time, your hair done already, or you got to get it done, whatever, to get there the way you wanted to get there. I mean, I don't know, but collectively, you probably spend about $1,000 to $2,000 just to go out there and party for 4 to 6 hours, and have nothing to show for it but a selfie. Maybe if you post it or not. A lot of us are here today because of this bipolar disorder with our parents on Valentine's Day. Right? So there's some contribution to society, good or bad. But other than that, really, what did it do for us? So it wasn't impulsive in that case. It was strategic. I don't go out that often. But if I do go out, don't ask me to go to the club. Let's do this instead. No, I ain't going to be spending all my bread. You know what? I think I can do this what I want to do for you. I'll keep it a surprise, but I think it'll be a total about 800. Give me 4. You give me 4, I put 4 toward. I'm going to surprise you. I'm going to change your life. You going to commit to this and be invested in this experience just as much as I have. That way, if I don't talk to you for 6 months, because I only took you with me because I took you with me. What I wanted to do. I wasn't out here trying to cater to scatterbrains. I decided this is what I want to do. And you know what? I'm going to take you with me. The same way I came to the community and said, look, I want to build the new Atlantis. And I want to take you all with me. That's the way I've been doing things my whole life. But then when I told them what the budget was, some people still want to come with you. Some people want to stay where they at. Just like the cost of doing business. When I put up on the screen, the average small business making between 50 and 500,000, or making less than 500,000, needs to spend $18,000 to $80,000 on rebranding, on new logo. Some people still want to talk to you after that. Some people want to talk about you after that. But shout out to the people who want to talk to you, negotiate. We find out we can get their stuff done for $3,000 to $5,000. We knock it out, and then we doing world change. Those are the people I'm looking for, because we can do things together on a global status. And because I'm a green belt, I can make your dollars go further. So, yeah, let's go back to this bipolar disorder. This can lead to impulsive spending sprees, shopping sprees, spending sprees. It says where you may buy items they can't afford or make risky financial decisions. Now, let's look at this dating experience y'all out here doing these series of shopping, spending sprees on this night out, on that night out, to get closer to this person that's basically selling out, and you're buying it in Then you want to do the next level of things with them. You want to get a place together, which is more spending sprees, right? Now you got bigger rent. Now you got to buy new things because you're living together and you're going to move together. So you need to spend spree there. And then it's a risky financial investment because you don't even know if you're going to be together 2 years from now, but you built your whole living arrangement on having two people paying for the bills, because if one person leaves, then the other person can't really afford to do everything with the bills that they've now accumulated, so that they can pretend to show this to the world what they think they have but really have not, because it doesn't really exist. It is bipolar disorder, because they're stuck at a job that they hate and they feel like you complete them. They feel like you make them whole, right? That's what they told you. Because I was born whole. I came out probably a whole 300 pounds at birth, right? I think they dropped me. I don't think they were ready for that weight, but I came out whole. I want to be around people who feel complete. Can you let me know in the comments below if you feel complete today? So then you get married. The beers done went and taught you to spend 2 months of your salary on a wedding ring that could fall off a finger or get thrown in a river because she don't like you no more. Kind of sounds like a risky investment. Then you have a wedding. You invite 10,000 people that don't know who you are, but it look good to have them in the background of the pictures that you're gonna put on Facebook. You spend $80,000 on a wedding, and you divorced 2 to 4 years later. Sound like a risky investment, but you didn't realize you were buying her the whole time through the dating process, the impulsive spending sprees. Like when I was talking to somebody and they were like, hey, I would get excited when she called. And I was like, well, oh, okay. Because then when she say, let's go out here, maybe I'll go. And so that's impulsive spending sprees. Led you to more impulsive spending sprees, which is why you now are married and can't stand each other. Can't wait till the next girls' night or guys' night. Need a man cave instead of a combined team office, because your direction in life ain't aligned. You're not even going in the same direction. So you can't even spend your time working together on things because y'all so separated and don't know it because of bipolar disorder. Because of where you started off in life before you met each other. But there's something wrong with us, the artists, the entrepreneurs that give all that shit up and be working on our goals and our dreams in the midnight hours at 3 a.m., up writing songs, up perfecting business plans, up making lists of people to contact Monday, sending emails. How many of y'all got email from me at 4 a.m., 2 a.m.? How many of y'all done got a text message from me about a new song I just dropped at 11:30 at night? Why is it that I'm living free of the clock and you upset if I text you at 11:30? Because if I text you at 11:30 saying, hey, you know what, I got this extra money, what's your cash? I want to give it to you. You wouldn't feel the same way, would you? See everything perspective. You're bipolar disorder. Love is unconditional. What you got? That ain't love. See, nobody told you had to check the text message that came through at 11:30. But because you hate the situation that you're in so much, You were so eager to see what the text was, to see if maybe it gave you a dopamine stimulation beyond the environment of depression that you live in and don't know it. And then you only became disappointed because it's Pasha living his best life, sending you a song at 11:30 that he just made. See, then that makes you depressed. So I gotta get rid of you because I want people that's like, oh shit, Pasha got a new song. Yo, I'm gonna check that out tomorrow. I'm gonna crash. Or not say nothing and then just check it out when they get to it and let me know how they feel. Or don't say nothing. Right? And that's the same for everybody. When the artist send you a picture of the new painting they just painted, or the carpenter out there talking about the new table they just made. Y'all hating that. How you gonna hate on somebody that wanted to include you and shit? And then as soon as they stop including you, you talking about they turn their back on y'all. Don't know what the fuck y'all want. That's that bipolar shit. So then you got other things combined, and we're gonna close up, wrap up, get up out of here. You got the depressive episodes, you got the mixed episodes, which is symptoms of mania and depression occurring simultaneously. You got fluctuations in the sexual desires, that's like bipolarness in the bedroom. Y'all know how that goes, especially if you're married. Sorry for you guys. Schizophrenia, paranoia and distrust, impaired judgment and cognitive function. So that schizophrenia can impair judgment and cognitive function, leading to challenges in communication and understanding. I need to do a whole video on that by itself, right? Because we know communication's jacked up right now. We know communication's fucked up right now. Clear and concise. You can't have both. Then they don't know what they want. They get clear, then they want concise. They get concise, they want clear. That's that bipolar shit. They bipolar and they don't know it. So then you got the anxiety disorders, excessive worrying, avoidance, emotional distance, substance use disorders, dependency issues, impulsive and inattention, challenges again in communication, and borderline personality disorder, the fear of abandonment, right? I got a little of that. I think every man that called their father and was supposed to come see him, or every, that called their father and said, hey, or their parents or whatever, period, hey, I want to spend time with you. And it was like, I'm stuck at work when I get off work or whatever it was, or Saturday, or and then they get the call, they not coming. I think that hits everybody to some degree. Some of us build shit because of that. It makes us stronger. Like, stop trying to take everything and make it a weakness and look at how it made you stronger. You don't have the emotional attachments that the mama's boy has. You at work listening to 55-year-old men talk about mama boy shit. They can't separate from their mamas at 55. How you gonna go out here? That's why they talking shit about you, coming down talking about, I'm gonna change the world, because in their mind, you can't change the world by yourself. You gotta go home and check on mama every 2 hours. They can't compute the fact that you could do something that scale because they mama boy shit. Like, stop looking at things as a weakness and start to look at everything that people are pointing at you to make you feel less than yourself. I want you to do this. Look at how it makes you stronger. Every weakness that somebody told you had, I want you to write down in a journal where it actually helps you through something. And if you got more than one example, put more than one example down there. And you know what that's going to do over time for you? That I did for myself naturally long time ago. It's going to make you realize that what they consider weaknesses is really your strengths. It's so many people I talk to, and I call it chin up. Because they be talking about themselves, and they be down, they put their head down, they be talking about this stuff. I'd be like, look, chin up. And they be like, what you mean? And then I sit there and I tell them how, from what I listen and learn from them, either that day or a collective period of time over time. And I'm like, really, what you're telling me is that A, B, C, and D, and it really works best for you because this is your strength and this is how it's working for you instead of. And they're like, oh shit, I never looked at it like that. Yeah, look, chin up. That's the phrase, chin up. Yeah, so hit me up for that business coaching, that life coaching. You know what I mean? Because a lot of y'all need this because we wasting $80 to $100 billion a year on emotional bullshit. And that's why you hear Pasha saying, I don't really do well with emotional people. It's not me. Look, I know y'all looking. I know there's a group of people out there right now looking for negative sound bites from Pasha Pablo to flood the market with because they want to tear down my character. They want to make you look at them as heroes because they ain't really doing shit. But your bipolar think they do, right? So this is why you hear me saying I don't work well with emotional people because they're an endangerment. As you can see, we covered here today. Like, just look at it. You done went from dating to marriage, had the same problems the whole time, got divorced, went through the whole process again on wife number 2. That's insanity. You still talking about having the same problems. But you still investing the same money into the same problem, going through it again. We could be out here building what we need in the communities. Pasha Pablo, YNet7. Thank you for tuning.